Welcome to the Art Lady channel. Today's art lesson is on nutcrackers. And we're going to learn about using lines and patterns to create our own unique individual nutcracker. We're going to look at a collection of nutcrackers from one of my friends. And I want to thank my friend Mary for letting me use her nutcrackers as inspiration for this lesson. To start the nutcracker, what we're going to do, and my class has already done that. I have a 4th grade class here with me. We have a 9 by 24 piece of paper here, and we folded it in half, and then we opened it up and folded the bottom half up to the middle, and then the top part folding to the middle. And we only need to press in the very, very center. And at the bottom, we put our name and our class code here. So we have everything on our paper and ready to go. The very, very center of our page is where we're going to first start off. So I'm going to have you go to the center. You're going to place your hand right on that center line. And then where the center line intersects the folded line, just place a dot with your Sharpie. And on the other side, a dot. Now, if you're at home, you might be using just a pencil, whatever you want to draw with. And I'm going to go quickly, so you can always pause the video, or if you're in a class, you want to pay attention, listen carefully, and if you miss a step, ignore it, and go on to my next step, and then you can always go back and fix whatever you've missed. But if you pay attention and work quickly and think about what you're doing first, you're not going to make much of a mistake. And mistakes can always be just incorporated into the design. Now I'm going to connect two lines, the two dots rather, to form a line. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up just a little bit, less than a finger space up, and come back over. This is going to form the belt of the nutcracker. Now, if you notice, we're going to come up from the very center, and I'm going to stop let's see. I'm going to come up from my center, and I'm going to stop 2 fingers from the fold. So I'm going to put a mark right here. 2 fingers from the fold. At the fold line, now keep your line straight here. So it's in the, so find the fold line. I'm going to go side by side, find my center. I'm going to put a line, and I'm going to come over as wide as 4 fingers. So I'm going to come over 4 fingers right here. From the very top, I'm going to come down 4 fingers. So let me show you here. Here's 4 fingers placed at my top. I need a guideline for a dot. So put a dot. This is going to be our guidelines. The top section will be the crown or your hat, whatever you're going to put on top of your nutcracker. This will become the head. So from here, I'm going to come, if you want to make a line here first, let's just make a line so we know where our hat's going to end. That's where my hat will be. So now I can take this line, come up and around to the hat, up and around to the hat, where the hat will begin. So now we just formed the face part. The space for the face is here, okay? This is the hat space. This will be where the beard is. let me show you the hair part here. This is what we're going to do right now. We're going to design the beard and the hair part. This one I did with spirals right here. So this was just very simple. I came from the hat down to the line, came from the hat down to the line, and then I added decorative spirals. This one I just flared out and then added line. Here's some examples from my friend's collection. Think of the kind of hair and beard that you would like to add, and then you're going to go ahead and add it while I draw mine. These are the soldier and king examples here, and the side hair does not even connect to the front chin hair, so that's up to you how you want to design yours. I'm going to make right now, I'm going to make it simple first. So we need to connect from here, out, visualize it, and then back. Same thing, down and around. So you connect your line now. I'm going to make mine wavy, like this, just so that it's different. This is going to be a harder line to do right here. If you want to just do yours simple and straight, go ahead and make it simple and straight. But I kind of wanted a wavy example here. Now we're going to do the body. So I'm just going to connect the belt area straight up to meet the beard. Now we're going to go to the next segment. This is where the coat, see how the coat ends? So we're going to find this space, our line, let me make sure it's in, and we're going to go up about 3 fingers, put a mark. So my bottom fold, measure 3 fingers, put a mark. Now I'm going to come out on both sides, and I want it to be wider than the belt. Now we're going to come back to the shoulder area. We're going to place, see where the beard meets the shirt? I'm going to put my finger off to the side. I'm going to come out and around my finger. And I'm going to do that on each side. Keep it the same height, just come out and down. It's bigger, look, it's bigger than your finger, but you don't want it to be much bigger. Now I'm going to come down past the fold line, right past the fold line, and then I'm going to go over and back up to the body. I'm going to show you what we're making. His arms overlap that bottom of the coat or skirt. I'm going to do the same, match it on this side. My arms come past the fold line. See, just a little bit past the fold line, over and back up to the belt. The hand is just a simple, here's a real nutcracker here, oval or circle shape. Okay. So make your oval down and up, down and up. You can decorate this later. Next step, take the skirt area or jacket, bring it back up to the arm or hand. So now we have the head, the jacket area. Now we're going to work on the boot area and leg area. We're going to design the boots in a front view, as you see here in the examples from the Nutcracker collection. They're just made with simple geometric shapes. We want to leave a space here, so I'm going to put a finger, and I'm going to put a guideline dot and a guideline dot. Okay? We're going to make a diagonal line, and we're going to come down to the bottom. So if I find the very center of my bottom, I'm going to fold this up. So here's my bottom page. Let me move this so we can see better. Here is the very, very bottom of the page. Put your finger in the center. Okay, we want two, let's do 2 fingers in the very center. I'm going to do a horizontal line coming out and a horizontal line on my other side. This is going to tell me where my boot toes are, the toes of the boot. The horizontal lines are 2 fingers wide. Okay. If you look at the real Nutcracker front view, let's see if I can get the toes in here. You see how the boots, it's hard to see. The boot is wider front view than the legs. So now I'm going to take and I'm going to do curve up and back, down, like a rainbow curve. You're going to make it like a rainbow curve, so curve up and down. Now the legs are going to taper. So these legs are going to taper down. Now before you do this, this is a long line to draw. So before we do this, we want to visualize it first. So I'm going to taper it down. And I'm going to taper it down. So you want to taper it this way. Okay? You can put in your boots first if you want to do that. So I'm going to come up for my boot. Up for my boot, and I'll stop it. So however long your boots, straight up, straight up. Now remember, our boot came in. Let's add a cuff around the boot. Let me show you on my example here. You see how the cuff comes around the boot? So these are going to come out. So I make a C shape. It's past the boot. And a C shape, backward C. Now I'm connecting. Backward C shape, backward C shape. And we can connect. Now I can taper this down and taper this down. It's not quite, it's wider at the top and thinner at the bottom. So let me show you on these ones right here, the stripes. If you make these too skinny, look at my original lines were pretty thin. You can transform them into thicker legs by adding stripes. That's where you can take your pattern to hide your mistake. So let's draw these lines slowly so that we're happy with them. So I'm going to take the inner line first and go slowly down to meet the boot. But look, don't have it come to the edge of the cuff. This is like a fur cuff on the boot. Take the other inner leg and go slowly down and end. If you visualize it first, you'll be more successful because then you can say, that's too fat, that's too thin. Now we're going to do the rest of the leg coming up to this side. But don't have it touch the edge of the skirt. You want it to, mine are a little crooked, but that's okay. If you're looking at mine, when you make the first lines right now, the lines and your Nutcracker may not be perfect to you, but let's look at some of these examples. Once you're filling in the detail, all of the imperfections will go away. You won't be seeing imperfections. And you can always change your design to make it the way you like it. And you can fix those imperfections. We're going to be adding decorative shapes now to the Nutcracker. So you can design your face. You can add, let's look closely on this thing. You can add shell designs, floral designs, line patterns, circle shapes. These are all embellishments of the coats for the drummer. These are like embroidered gold. Look at the diamond patterns here. Stripes. But let's talk about the size first. If you fill your artwork with lots of tiny, really fine details, it's going to be harder to color in or take longer and harder to paint in. If we keep our designs pretty big and simple, see the patterning? It's going to be easier in the end, and then it won't look so cluttered. So look at some of the shapes that I've designed here. Just simple line shapes, zigzags, but keep it big. Now we're going to look at the Nutcracker collection for the face details. And you want to decide which kind of eyebrows, eyes, simple nose shapes. This one just has a little curve, like an N curve for a nose. I like the little eyelashes on the edges on these eyes for the females. And this one just has a little simple lips. I like the little curly Q hair at the top on that one too. This one has almost cat eye shapes. It's a curve on top and bottom. Here we have a straight line on the bottom of the eye and then a curve on the top. So decide which kind of eye you would like, or eye shapes. They all have layers with white, a pupil, and an iris. And then some have little highlights, the little white highlight in the iris and the pupil. The males all have these mustaches, and some mustaches are curling up like this one. This one's interesting too because they did the gray beard, gray eyebrows. Here the mustache was curling up like a swirl. This one's curling up a little bit more like a swirl. A lot of them have little pink cheeks, and it places in different places, the little pink on the cheek. For the face, if you want to copy with me, you may. If you want to design your own face, that's fine. I'll take you through. In the very center of your face, put a straight line for your nose. So if you have trouble making your own face, you can do it with me now. This is going to be just a simple triangular shape coming up, almost triangular, and coming up. On each side here, I'm going to do center. I'm going to do a nice large circle. You can exaggerate these facial features. It'll be easier to color in or paint. And then I'm going to put a little dot in the center for the pupil. And then you can add the eyebrow, or the eyelid rather. It's like a rainbow arch. I added a mustache to mine. If you want to make it like a Nutcracker face, here's the mustaches here. I put a U shape for the mouth, and then I added a backward C and a letter C, and then I curled it. You can curl it up like this one. My other one has it curled up too. You can curl it down. This is where you turn your Nutcracker into whoever you want. I'm going to make this like a realistic Nutcracker. Sometimes this part of the Nutcracker, the actual nut part here, has, it's on his mouth. So if you want to make it up there, you can. You can just make a large square or rectangle mouth like that if you want. But that's up to you how you want to make your mouth or your mustache, whatever, however you're going to design it. Now you're going to design your hat or your crown. Here are some crown and hat examples to inspire you in your designs. You may draw with me after I show you these examples, or you can draw your own pattern and designs. You can take from some of these and take parts of these ideas and incorporate it into your hat or crown. But these have different and interesting shapes. Some have these neat little tassels on them and gold embellishments. This one's the king crown with jewels. So you can use simple geometric shapes like circles and lines and squares and ovals to put into your crown. Now, if you want to draw with me, you can continue drawing with me or make your own. I'm just going to flare out, diagonal line out, and then I'm going to come back down in the very center with a almost A shape, and then I'm just connecting it to the corners. Very simple shapes that make it easier for me to decorate. And then add line pattern. Add horizontal lines. Add circle shapes. I'm going to add a diamond shape like we saw in the other Nutcrackers. What's also cute, if you have room, if I'm going to add 2 circles, this will be like an elf. I'm going to make mine like an elf. So I'm adding 2 circles for cheeks, and then I'm going to add little tiny, so this takes the circles take it from a king's crown now into an elf. Now we're going to look at some pattern and designs on the jacket. And you're going to decide which kind of pattern and design you want to put on yours, and you can start decorating your jacket. This one has this one's like a band uniform, so it's got a lot of vertical stripes. Each one is very, very different. Some are more elaborate than others. Here's another tassel example on the shoulders. It has, a lot of them have buttons or jewels that represent buttons. I like the split, the way the jacket splits almost into an A shape at the bottom. And here it's got some diamond patterns or made with the string or the ties. A lot of them have embellishments on the shoulders, like shoulder pads or shoulder designs. This one has a really fancy design across the chest. This one's my favorite, and I love these little curving U shapes at the bottom. So have fun decorating yours. Here's a cross design on the jacket with those, this is like the band uniform with the tassels coming down off of the caps on the shoulders. But remember, when you make your decorations, keep it pretty big and thick, because we've got to paint these stripes in or color them. And if you make, say, 25 stripes, you either have to color in those 25 stripes with markers, crayons, or paint. So if you make 5 stripes, it's going to be a lot easier to color in, okay? So decorate that, and then at the end of the video, I'll show you some examples of my students. And have fun designing your very own Nutcracker. Here are some more Nutcracker designs for you to look at as you are adding your lines and patterns to your Nutcracker. I hope that these Nutcrackers will inspire you to create amazing Nutcracker art. Hope you enjoy the video, and let me know in the comments how your Nutcracker came out. These are the Nutcrackers from the Nutcracker Ballet collection. And to the very right is the Mouse King. And here is a real functioning Nutcracker made out of metal. And these are some 4th grade drawings of the Nutcracker. And these are pictures that were done in one class period. So we're not yet finished adding detail and design to them. I hope you enjoy your Nutcracker lesson. And if you would like it, I'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe.